All right. Hey guys, it's Sajady. Welcome to Mas on Sunday with Sajady, where, well, we change everything by practicing XI, becoming exponentially intelligent. XI, again, exponential intelligence. Literally, it's starting to become, say, a brand new science that explains, well, everything, literally. So if you figured out why your life hasn't been going the way it is, it might not be you. It might be that you're not going deep enough. You don't have the tools to go deep enough. And those tools, that's what we're going to be talking about today. Is again on this month on Sunday, how to reprogram your mind, and that's the key. How to reprogram your mind. So just give me 1 second. There we go. How to reprogram your mind. So there's so many different ways that we reprogram your mind. There's programs from John Assaraf, programs from Joe Dispenza, programs from, who's ever that's been out there, Tony Robbins and all that stuff. And again, they're fantastic programs, but I'm going to show you the logistics or the science, the first principle of science on why some of those things that you might have tried in the past hasn't worked out. As a note, I am not knocking them down. I'm not again saying that their focus or what they do is crap or garbage, and you shouldn't listen to that. Absolutely not. It's just different levels. Okay. Say for example, and we'll make this an experiential experience. Take a deep breath in. Again, just notice where you are because it's about frequencies, and I'm going to be talking about that. So in this Moss on Sunday, I'll help you learn a totally different method based on advanced quantum neuroscience on how to reprogram your mind. By the way, what I'm about to say, teach you, especially if you're new now, if you're an XI, you always know the answer already, but for new people, and we always have new people coming in. So thank you for that. And again, share this video. Please subscribe to the video. Please like the video so we can get more and more individuals, on the bandwagon to really transform not just your life, but your loved one's life, your future life, and then also humanity, because that's how we change it. That's how we transform, right? If you've wondered why your life hasn't transformed, although you've tried anything else out there, again, I'm not knocking any of those people down. I'm just telling you that we need, say, a better tool to make their tool even better. Okay, so their tools, what they do, what they profess, are really fantastic tools. In fact, I've been through some of their classes and so on like that. Again, really fantastic concepts that we need at a psychological level or brain or cognitive level. That's the key. But what's missing? XI is what's missing. Exponential intelligence is what's missing. And I'm just going to talk about, say again, the logistics in just a second. So in this scenario, or in this program, I'm going to show you how to reprogram yourself at the deepest level beyond the subconscious mind. I'll show you the science on how to raise your frequencies, just like Nikola Tesla. This goes into, again, what Nikola Tesla was talking about. This goes into what Albert Einstein was talking about, or Niels Bohr, and all those individuals who came to a conclusion that it's not the conscious mind. They couldn't quite say put it into say specifics or make it as tangible as what I've done, through Exponential Intelligence, which is basically a handbook on how to transform your frequencies or how to shift your frequencies, because it's all about frequencies. It's not about what's here. And that's one of the key problems with these individuals. Again, that profess, program your mind, repurpose your mind, and then you can attract all the wealth that you need. Reprogram your mind and you'll be healthier. Reprogram your mind and, or listen to, what do they call that? Neuro beats, or, brainwave technologies and all those things again. And then it'll change your mind, right? It'll change the frequencies of your mind, and then your life will improve. Well, yeah, that helps a little. Again, but what's the deeper reason why your life hasn't transformed? And it's not just your life, like I was saying. It's look at the world. Why do we keep repeating the same old patterns? Okay, this is the level that we need to change, say, the life frequencies. This is the level that we need, or humans need to change. Why do we keep repeating the same old patterns? If you look throughout history, okay, if you look throughout history, we keep repeating the same old patterns. If you look through your family lineage, you keep repeating the same old patterns. Great grandfather had heart issues. You still have heart issues. Right? It's not supposed to be that way. It literally isn't. You're not supposed to be, again, repeating old patterns. You're supposed to be expanding. It's called evolution. Nature evolves. Right? Nature evolves and always becomes a better version the next year around, the next season, the next moment in time. What happens is most individuals, they hold on because of free will. Okay? Because of free will, we have free will to create anything that we need or want. Unfortunately, what we do is we create from the past. Okay. Now, there's a lot of science behind it that I won't discuss in this Moss on Sunday, but you can go to the lecture series. You can go to the XI podcast. You can go to the other events and understand the science. I just did a talk on the hierarchy of self-actualization, which was really, really fantastic for you to understand how self-actualization really, really flourishes or really works. And it really compares to Maslow's hierarchy of needs as well, and where it went off. So you can take a look at all that information for you, okay, to understand the deeper science. If you're the scientific type and go, well, I don't know if what this guy is talking about is real. Again, even if you don't, look at your life. Just take a look at your life. Look back in your life. Look at you. Look at your parents. Look at your uncles. Look at your aunts. Look at your grandparents, and so on like that. Are you very similar to them? Look at your situation, and look at your friends around you. Are you very similar to them? Again, that just proves that, again, whatever that you're doing is literally a cycle, and that cycle just starts over and over and over and over again. And then humanity never, say, raises consciousness, although all around us, consciousness is always elevating, because that's what consciousness does. It always elevates. So nature, time and space, the multiverse, and so on, always comes into a higher version of itself. Okay, this is a experiential experience. So you might be feeling frequencies that I'm sending out. So take a breath in again. This is how we change. It's all about frequencies. Okay. And if you have any specific comments or questions, again, comment in, and not read me, please, because I'll do that in the second half of the show. Okay. But again, specific questions on what I'm talking about. So again, notice your chest. Notice the upper part of your chest. Okay. All right. So when people say reprogram your mind, okay, what happens is that you're in the same reality as where your mind is created. Okay. And again, according to Einstein's rules or laws, you can't change, or you can't have, say, a viable solution. You can't have a viable solution or find a solution that'll actually solve the problem if the solution is in the same reality or in the same consciousness as the problem. That's really the key. Okay. You have to look outside. You have to step outside. So if you want to fix your mind, or if you want to reprogram your mind, you have to go outside of your mind to really fix it or to reprogram it. Okay. This is why it's so hard for a lot of individuals who have to force themselves, like say addictions, right? Or not free will, but addictions. They have to have a lot of willpower to transform a bad habit of theirs. They have to use a lot of, say, pressure to transform, because you're at the same level as what you want to change. And again, it's very, very hard to do that. How many of you through XI, though, have found it easy? For example, in this total human reset, a lot of you were on the 18 fast. Again, the total human reset is where we say transform all aspects of your life in about 30 days, in about a month's time. Literally, you start to transform all of you, all aspects of your life. And that's really one of the keys as well, or one of the positives, by transforming your frequency, or shifting, or again, changing your frequency. How many of you on total human reset, that couldn't do an 18-hour fast, and now it's easy for you? Okay. Again, raise your hand. Well, don't raise your hand, but comment in on someone saying THR kicks ass. It does, doesn't it? It's literally transform every aspect of you. And it's only on, I think we're on day 10 or day 11, something like that. Okay. But again, in a very short period of time, decades of transformation. Why did that happen? Okay. So what I'm saying to you, again, has proof over a decade of proof, over hundreds of thousands of client sessions that have say client sessions with again, people would call them miraculous transformations, but in reality, and I like this one comment, THR is changing my DNA. Absolutely, and I'll talk about that as well. Okay, so how do you do that? Again, over 100,000 client sessions, mastered the art of, say, transforming lives beyond say, what's scientifically possible in today's science. Right? Again, we're going way ahead of science. We're going into the world of frequencies. And Einstein even said, and again, Tesla even said that the future is about, the future of medicine, or the future of anything, as I say, is actually about the future of frequencies. Understanding what frequencies that you resonate. It's because the frequencies that you resonate at is what's important versus, say, what's in here. Okay, what's in here is an after product, or it's a byproduct. It's a byproduct of what you created here. So this is where the difference is when again, you have somebody like Joe Dispenza or Tony Robbins or John Asseroff and all those, again, those fantastic individuals who have really unbelievable, say, knowledge and information. I don't have any of that knowledge or information. I'm not an expert at what they do. They're not an expert at what I do. But the key is that without XI, without what I do, okay, without XI, again, you'll be cycling your old patterns. And I wish I had a drawing board. I'll get that for you next time. But think of it this way, okay? Your original core blueprint starts here, okay? This is point A. Okay, you're at point A. Okay, your core blueprint, your genetic makeup, your master blueprint, however you want to call it, your spiritual journey, your genetics, your DNA. It doesn't matter. Whatever you want to label it, it's totally fine. Depending on where you are, it's totally fine. Again, it starts here, point A. Okay, then it goes through a filtering process. Okay, and we're not going to talk about all the filters, but point B is, again, it goes into, and I'll make it simple, it goes into, say, your super subconscious. Okay? Your super subconscious, which I would call, say, your super intelligence. Your super intelligence literally runs who you are, or creates who you are. Okay, so your super intelligence, the closest thing, if you're not getting it, would be your autonomic nervous system. Your autonomic nervous system is your super intelligence. Your autonomic nervous system is the part that's not in your brain, by the way. Okay, it's beyond your brain. This is where quantum neuroscience This is where the field of quantum neuroscience is delving into. Hey, what's that connection, or what's that connection that goes beyond the brain that creates or renders our physical form here? So back to the example, your original blueprint is point A. You've got point B, where it is your, again, super subconscious or your super intelligence. Your super intelligence is the level where your autonomic nervous system works. Your autonomic nervous system, say, runs your heart. So if you're walking, your autonomic nervous system tells you to, hey, let's slow down your heartbeat. Okay, you don't need that much blood flow. Let's slow it down. A tiger is running after you. Let's speed it up. You digest food, you eat food. It puts in the chemicals that you need to break down the food. Your liver in itself does over 1,000, again, over 1,000 different, say, processes. Just your liver in a day. Imagine that. Now imagine you consciously trying to figure out what your liver does or what your liver has to do. Imagine a simple thing like breathing you take for granted. Okay, you have to breathe in, breathe out. Something has to tell you. Those individuals who've had, say, brain damage, where they have to consciously go breathe in, breathe out. They literally have to talk to themselves to go breathe in, breathe out. Again, that aspect, that connection is damaged somehow. So your autonomic nervous system would be, say, point B, okay, which runs basically your body. It runs your mind. It controls your mind. It controls how you process things. It controls the information that you take into the world through your environment, through your 5 senses, and then feeds it back to you as a feedback loop. Okay, so that's point B. Point C would be your subconscious. Okay, your subconscious is kind of a connection between, again, your super subconscious or your super intelligence, if you want to call it, and then your physical identity or your physical form. So again, you have a feedback loop. You have an environment. You learn from your environment. It goes into your, say, super intelligence. It goes, okay, this environment demands that I do X, Y, and Z, right, to survive. Okay, and then spits out whatever logic, whatever actions, whatever thoughts, whatever emotions, whatever it is for you to survive, whatever experience that you have. Again, it's a feedback loop. Okay, so that's again, so you're in step C. So that would be your subconscious. So your subconscious is basically an automatic mechanism which makes it easier for you to do redundant things faster. Simple as that. So you don't have to relearn how to, say, tie your shoes. That would be your subconscious. Somewhere in your brain, the neurons and all that, they get stronger, they get better, they get a better connection. Something happens to you, your subconscious like connects those neurons or fires the right neurons, so you automatically do whatever that you need to do. Right? So a lot of you like driving. That's that's just automatic for you, or you just do it. Does that make sense to you? You're not really awakened. Unfortunately, that autonomic, that system, your subconscious, unfortunately takes over, and it does its job so well that most people are in hypnosis. They wake up, they do their morning routine, they go to work, they're not awake. Everything is, you don't even have to think. That's how, say, fantastic, or that's what, how efficient your subconscious is. But when it's like that, or when it becomes so automatic for you, you're not learning and expanding. You're just creating a loop again. And then that loop goes back into the deeper loop that I talked about, into your super intelligence. And then you create that same loop over and over again. So take a breath in again. So now you've got your emotional state. Okay. So this is point D. Help me out. Was it D or E? Point E. Okay. Point E. You got your emotions. So for point five levels in, you've got your emotions. And your emotions are based on, say, again, your environment, how you were treated, and so on, like that, right? Your emotions, say, filter what the experiences that you see. If you've had a tragic experience, or if you've been abused back in the day, right? There's an emotion for that, right? Those emotions create a filter on what you see for the rest of your life. Again, if you're scared, if you got scared of elevators, every time you see an elevator, for example, right? Again, that's an experience, and then the emotions kick in to save you. Again, it's a safety mechanism for you. So your emotions are, say, messed up, or again, say, not optimized. So you have your emotions. That's point E. Point F. That's where your brain comes in. This is where you have, say, conscious ability, or this is where your consciousness starts to exist. This is where you go, oh, wait, something's going on here. I need to change it. Do you see the problem there? Do you see the problem with any other program that's out there? Again, those are fantastic, whatever it is, John Assaraf, Joe Dispenza, whoever it might be. Again, they have fantastic programs. I'm not knocking their programs down, but you need a program that goes way beyond, okay? And that's what I'm talking about, XI, okay? So their program is, again, about 6 steps in. So changing your mind, changing your brain waves, changing your brain chemistry, changing all those things that happen here between your 2 ears, it's not going to do it for you, okay? Because all your stuff back here has already been created, and then you change it here. How does that work? And it's not just your brain, by the way. It's your cellular identity, cellular structure. Just think of all the stuff, again, from your master blueprint, point A, that you've brought in from your parents that you have no control over. You literally have no control over how most people, XIers, most people, they can't change the way they age. They can't change the way they even look. They can't change without, plastic surgery and all that. They can't change what kind of diseases they get, and so on like that. What we're seeing in XI, and again, I'm not a doctor or anything like that, but what we're seeing in XI is like those individuals, like somebody said here, the THR program or the 18-day program that they're doing is massively changing the way their genetics are. This is where, again, their facial features, their physical body changes. This is where their identity of themselves change. This is where they don't have to age like their parents or anything like that. Okay, so take a deep breath in. So what you want to do is change from point A. Psychology, your brain waves, your psychology, your brain waves, your goal setting skills, and all that is at point F. That's 6 layers down. Okay, so whatever happened here, you didn't change. You're changing from this moment forward. Well, this moment again goes into what? Into the present. This moment has already been created. It's already been done. You've already created it. So what this means for you, okay? What this means for you is that say that you were a widget manufacturer. Okay, we'll make it really easy for you. Say that you were a widget manufacturer. Okay, and your widget is square. Okay, your widget is square and it's a color that you don't like. So think of a widget that's square. It's not pretty looking. However your life is, and let's do this as an exercise. Take a breath in, because even XI visuals are very, very different. Okay, take a deep breath in. Again, just notice your surroundings. Just open your eyes real quick. Notice your surroundings, any visuals around you. Notice your visuals, and then close your eyes as you notice your body. I do need a whiteboard. Yeah, we'll connect that. We'll get more and more advanced here. There we go. All right. So if your life was a widget, okay, what would it look like? Visual that you've done with other individuals. Again, their visuals work, but we use visuals for something very different. Just notice how your mind creates that widget for you. This is a representation of how your mind, or not your mind, how your higher self, what I'm talking about, again, your limitless self, renders you or creates your life. It even dictates how you create visuals in your mind. If I ask you to think about a tree, the way you render that tree is based on, again, point A, based upon your higher or limitless self or your possibilities of what you could really be. Okay? Again, but it doesn't know. That's the difference. That's the key. I'll talk about that in just a second. So imagine that widget, okay? Imagine then it goes through this manufacturing process. Like I said, your super subconscious that paints it, your conscious mind that, I don't know, packages it, your emotions, that might do whatever to it. Again, what's a widget? It's just something that, you can, anything. It's a little thing that, manufacturers make. Okay? Again, it's called a widget. Okay. So anyway, so and then you get the final product. Okay. For those people who don't know what a widget is, say that you're creating a product. Okay. You've manufactured a product, whatever it is, a phone, something simple like a little toy, again, but the key is that you get the final product. You're the, say, the man, the boss. You get the final product. And again, the product is a rendition of your life, right? You get the final product and you go, shit, this product, I don't like the color, I don't like the shape, I don't like a lot of you, I don't like anything about it. Basically your life, right? You don't like anything about your life, right? So what happens is that let's dress up this product. Let's paint it differently. Let's, using, psychology, let's paint it a different color. Let's package it a little differently, using brainwave technologies. Let's create another identity about it. Like a lot of advertising, they sell jeans, for example. They don't sell jeans, not say the texture of the jeans or how comfortable it is. It's like if you wear these jeans, you're going to be a star. You're going to attract a lot of women. You're going to be sexy. Does that make sense to you? So you start to change the identity, or you start to change the meaning of what you created back here. It doesn't really work out, because at the end of the day, what happens to that widget? That widget is still, or that gadget is still you underneath. That's what most people do. Imagine it another way. Some of you are having issues with widgets and gadgets, okay, as I'm seeing on this chat. Okay? Think of it this way. Take a breath in again, okay? I'll give you another example. Take a breath in again, okay? You're looking at yourself in the mirror. You do not like what you see in the mirror, okay? You might be overweight, you might be underweight, you might be too old, you might look like you're sick, you might look, not complete or not as intelligent or whatever that it is. Again, all that was created, your end reflection is what you're seeing in the mirror. And you go, oh my God, I don't like that. I don't like that. So what you do is you start dolling up through psychology, through brainwave technologies, through all these other things, again, that these fantastic individuals tell you to do. Act like a gladiator, and just roar out there, and then you're going to change your identity, right? You're going to change that persona of who you are. Well, what you're doing is you're changing the mirror. You still stay the same. Again, and does that make sense for you guys? Is that a clear example? Okay. So that's, somebody's telling me I look super ageless, vibrant today. Thank you. Yeah, I've been kind of going through a lot of stuff to look this way, by the way. So thank you for that. So does that make sense to you? Again, you are changing your frequency or the reflection of who you are. Your original form is back here. Psychology, again, and everything else that everybody else does is really, again, which is fantastic, changes the reflection of who you are, not your real self. Okay. So if you're diseased, if you're, say, emotionally, say, disabled, right? You're depressed, right? What do? You take medication, or you say a mantra to yourself, or you have a morning routine, or you do whatever, right? You're a sheep in your original state, right? You're scared as hell. You don't talk to people well, and so on like that. What do? You create another version of yourself over here saying, I am a gladiator. I am this. I am a powerful CEO. Again, those types of things. Those are psychology. And that's why a lot of the programs that are out there, they work, but they're missing one key component. And this is where XI begins. Right? This is where exponential intelligence begins. XI begins like at your blueprint. And that's why it's probably the toughest thing that you'll ever do. Right? It's a lot easier making $1 billion than going inwards into yourself and understanding who you really are. That's how say monumental XI is. And by the way, I work with a lot of high-level individuals, and they tell me, it's like, Moss, making $1 billion was a hell of a lot easier for me than looking inwards into myself and seeing my core identities. It really is. So again, when you start to find who you really are, that's what you want to be. That's where you want to be. You don't want to change, point F. All these things here before you have to change. So what XI does, which is really cool, is changes your master blueprint of who you really are, why you're supposed to be here. This is where you start to understand, say, life. This is where you start to have passion for life. This is where you're not just a robot. This isn't where you're just going along with the masses. This isn't where you become free of the slave nation. That's what's happening nowadays, right? You're basically just a slave nation, just going through the cycles that is dictated by somebody that thinks that they know what's going on. You become free of all that stuff. Right? That's what XI does for you, literally. So when you free yourself at your master blueprint, that creates a ripple. Okay? That creates a ripple of who you are. It creates a ripple through your, say, super subconscious. Again, your natural intelligence. Your natural or your super intelligence starts to wake up. Your super intelligence starts to wake up and compares it to its original self, not your genetic coding, not what you got from your parents and so on. Not that something goes, oh, you know what, super intelligence, it's like it says here that your parents had heart disease, or they went through depression, or through the depression and so on like that. We'll give you that as well. Your genetic makeup, we'll give you that experience because that's what you wanted, or that's what your parents dictated or sent down to you, again through evolution. No, you start to awaken. XI starts to awaken you at your master blueprint. Again, it starts to awaken your super intelligence, which creates or tells your mind what to do. Okay, that's outside of your mind. That's what I'm talking about. Your super intelligence, again, your autonomic nervous system. There's a hot running. It's like having an analyst going, your parents ran this version, and it's not the most optimal, especially for today, because there's advanced technologies, there's new ways of doing things. Let's run you this way. So your super intelligence starts to move you over. And this is where, again, people recover from their heart issues. Again, I'm not claiming I cure anybody, but I do claim that I awaken your natural healing abilities. And your natural healing abilities include, again, amassing wealth in the proper way, having fantastic relationships where you don't have to sacrifice yourself, having amazing health, becoming ageless, where you become youthful. This is what ageless is in XI definitions, where you actually start to become youthful, but you have wisdom of the ages, right? So it's not, you look like a 40-year-old, but and you look, you're 60, you look like you're 40-year-old, but you're emotionally, a 20-year-old. Again, that's how most people do, or that's how most people get young, right? They look younger, but again, they don't really look young. Their skin texture and so on like that is still of aging, although they just might look really healthy. Does that make sense to you? So becoming ageless, again, part of the THR program, part of the 18-day program, is where you literally start to feel like a youthful individual with wisdom of, an older individual. Again, hence ageless, right? Not aging younger. That's the difference. If anybody of you wondered what we do on the frequency spa. Okay, how many of you guys have done the frequency spas and have started to turn ageless, right? Anyway, so what happens coming back? Take a breath in again. Notice how you're feeling. And again, for the new individuals, notice how you're feeling. That's the frequencies. That's the new you coming out already, right? Some of you might like it. Some of you might not like it because it'll pull, or it'll remind you of your old ways. It'll remind you of what happened in your yesteryear. It's okay. That's why it's okay to feel that way. Don't push away from it, okay? Do not push away. If you're not feeling good listening to this talk meditation, HyperMeditation, especially if you're new, allow yourself not to feel good. Okay. Now that sounds crazy because we've always been indoctrinated. I always got to feel good. No, in this scenario, all that shit that's been holding on to you, all that stuff that's been inside you in your genetic makeup, in your genetic structure, it finally is leaving itself. And that's why you're feeling not as good. So allow it to flow out of you. It's like a detox. If you've ever done a body detox, right? Again, in THR, we're doing that. Again, so as you just allow it to leave you, and then you feel better. You don't want to hold on to that poison. Got it? So anyway, so getting back to that example, so your super subconscious, or your super intelligence starts going, you know what? We can recreate the heart. And this is what's happened to people. People's hearts have been recreated. Again, not because of me, because their natural healing abilities have awoken. They start to think differently, right? Your emotions start to change. Your psychology starts to change. Your emotions start to change. Your brain waves start to change. Your brain wave starts to change. Well, your habits, your logic, and all those things start to change to direct you into, say, a new direction. Okay, so all the points, again, XI changes you from point A. Psychology and everything else that everybody else does, brainwave technology, psychology, hypnosis, medical treatments, acupuncture, energy medicines, and so on. Again, those are the physical, say, energies or physical frequencies. Those things change for you at, say, 6 steps ahead. So once this changes for you through XI, now imagine going through what John Asseroff goes, will show you how to go through a program, or what Joe Dispenza goes through. Okay. And by the way, I've got real live studies, cases on this. That's when their knowledge, and that's where their, say, logistics or modalities that they teach you accelerate you. Okay. And there's people who've gone through all those camps, John's, camp, Joe Dispenza's, either before or after. I've tried a Joe Dispenza class, and then after I took XI, I really understood what Joe Dispenza meant, and it really helped me out. That's what I'm saying. Again, XI is that catalyst that gets you going. XI is that catalyst that creates that strong foundation. Or they've done XI, and now they're going to go do a John Asseroff, seminar. Those individuals, by the way, they excel in the classes that they go to. Again, and this has been, I've had over a dozen or two of individuals who practice XI, and then they go to a Joe Dispenza class. They usually turn out to be the star students in Joe Dispenza's class. And Joe won't credit that to me, but it's okay. Not a big deal. The students know. But those students, again, they excel in anything that they do when they go into other self-improvement classes like that. So again, whatever you want to do, again, whether it's Neurobeats, New Calm, or whatever that's out there, you want frequencies that transform you at the beginning, your master blueprint. And as you change your master blueprint, again, everything that you do after that, your parenting, again, whether it's again physical psychology, self-improvement, or anything else, or the way you parent starts to change. The way you look at the way that you look at your physical exercise programs start to change. The way the way you eat your food, again, you start gravitating to the foods that are beneficial for you and move away from those foods that aren't. Okay. Again, those individuals who've gone through that process, again, just comment in. This isn't, it's been tens of thousands of people that have already gone through the process, right? It's not clinical trials. It's not clinical, say, studies. It's not lab rats, talking about this. It's about actual individuals' lives transforming the way they should, into their highest version, into their limitless self, I would call it, right? Through psychology or anything else, but by changing your frequency, okay? How do you change your frequency? You change yourself, and this is where I might lose people, but you change yourself through putting yourself into another dimension of time and space, okay? Now, I didn't want to get into that, but those who really want to understand the concepts of XI, it goes into, say, quantum physics, where again, where the multiverse exists, where multidimensional, where the multi-dimensions exist, multi-dimensions of yourself exist, where different realities exist, where consciousness exists, and so on like that. Again, if you want to know more of the science behind it, the lecture series is a fantastic opportunity. The Best You, the Moss Experience, that's on the Best You as well. That gives you an idea or concept on exactly how consciousness, how realities, and how dimensions work for you. Okay. All right. Any questions, guys? Again, quickly, we'll just go through. Can you please share some tips on how we can change our master blueprint right now? Thanks. Absolutely. Well, I was working on you again. I was working on you right now. So you'll start to see, and that's how cool it is, by the way. Okay. At a higher level, and again, really don't have that much time, but at a higher level, when you're resonating at a higher frequency and you interact with somebody else that's resonating at a different frequency, people always want to gravitate to a higher version of their self. Okay. They'll see you resonate. So just by being here, by resonating at a higher frequency, this group, this family resonates at a higher frequency, you'll start to go, shit, I can be a better version of myself. So right off the bat. But what you can do physically or when you're alone, use spatial reference. We do spatial referencing on the 18 days or the elevation coming up in November for you. It's just, and it's the elevation coming up in November, guys, October. Yeah, in November. It's 4 meditations throughout the whole month. I think it's every Monday. You meditate with me. Just those 4 meditations will transform your life. Just those 4 meditations will transform your life. It's a great way if you're new. It'll help you understand what spatial referencing is. Spatial referencing, I think, to me, is one of the most important opportunities or tools that you can use to advance your life. Okay, far beyond psychology or anything like that. Once you understand spatial referencing, which we teach you in the elevation 18 days, I'll be talking about it on the neuroscience summit coming up October 20th through the 23rd. Okay, so, and I think that's a free talk, by the way. Okay, so take a look at that. It's a free talk. take a look at that. You can go to sajady.com, team, if I'm right. I think they've posted a link on where you can sign up for that neuroscience summit. We've got, again, fantastic individuals that are there. Not just me, other fantastic individuals that are like breaking, the bounds, or breaking a new frontier into, say, how we can transform our lives into a whole different dimension, not just our lives, but to better the world. So that's coming up again, and it's free. The Neuroscience Summit, October 22nd, 23rd. That'll help you out. We've got personal deprogramming, by the way, coming up October 30th. The Neuroscience Summit I've talked about. Oh, some of you who have because October, Halloween's coming up, right? Aliens, the science behind aliens, the science behind ghosts, the science behind entities, and all those things that there are millions of shows on, the science of the multiverse. If you watch Black Mirror, or Stranger Things, and all those things, the upside down world and all of those things, well, the science of the unseen, coming up October 27th. Science of the unseen, explaining the supernatural. Okay, giving you logistics, not woo-woo stuff, giving you like solid core, say, science behind how all that stuff works. Okay, that's coming up for you as well, so we understand it at a very, very deep level. All right. We can go on, but because of time, let's just jump into. We'll jump into scanning you. And scanning you basically is that if you want to be scanned on public media, that's really the key. If you want to be scanned on public media, to know exactly what your issue is or what's been holding you back, and then help you release it. I can do that for you. I don't need to, with my abilities. By the way, we all have these abilities, and I teach these abilities, again, through the Exponential Intelligence classes. I teach these abilities to you because we all have these abilities. Okay. Let's see. So I just have to read this content here. This is Sajady with Exponential Intelligence. This is Sunday, October 16th. 2022. I'm not a medical doctor. I don't diagnose or heal. I can scan your frequency signature and tell you what I see. So please consult your doctor for professional advice. Again, if I give you any medical advice, again, consult your professional or seek advice. If you ask to be scanned today, you are agreeing that we may use your session on any public media to help inspire others. So remember, if you don't want to be scanned, I do private sessions. They're booked out. I've got 1,000 people. Waiting list. So put your name on the waiting list, and we'll get to you. Okay, and then I'll just ask once. Okay, all contents are protected by copyright, so you may not use our content in any way, shape, or form for any purpose without my written permission. By the way, there's a lot of people claiming to have abilities like me, claiming to be XI compliant and so on like that. Watch out for them. If we're not sponsoring them, or if we're not saying yeah, they're good, again, just be careful out there. Okay, so this one we'll go into Michael here. Is it Michael? Yeah, Michael Lindstrom. Hello, Moss. I'm new. Can you scan me, please? Yes. And again, I don't need to know your name. I don't need to know anything about you, your date, your age, all that stuff. You can even use a fake name. Again, that's how powerful XI is. That's how powerful you are. You can connect to anybody just by their frequency signature, because it's all about, say, frequencies. Just give me 1 second. So Michael, not a doctor or anything like that, but oh, by the way, before I scan anybody, guys, if I scan you, please comment in. on the accuracy of the scan. I know I'm accurate. I don't need to know. I've done this so many times. I have total faith in myself, but it's good for you to go, shit, how did that guy know where it is? And then for those non-believers to go, shit, how did that guy know where it is? And then for those people who go, I want to do what he does. It's like, how did he do that? And then it allows you to, again, scan, or allows you to go, say, what area or what dimension did he tap into to read me, just like he's known me for, I don't know, longer than you have yourself. So with Michael, for you, there's something going on in your head. I don't know if there's brain issues or something like that in the family from what I'm seeing, but the frontal piece of your head, or there's a lot of pressure in your head. It seems like somebody might have passed away, or somebody is having issues with mental faculties. From what I'm seeing around you, they might have passed already, or they're getting to pass. Say you have aging parents, or something to that effect. Okay, or somebody again might have passed with something going on in the front of the brain. But that's what's affecting you. So you don't need, as you age, that propagates. Again, I'm not telling you what will happen. I'm just saying that you would have a higher propensity to have something going on with the head. You're always in your head, by the way. It's like just too much pressure. And it's always forward for you. It's always forward. So physically, so you might want to check yourself out, or again, do a private session where I can help you disconnect from, again, the genetics, okay? Or whoever died that you can't, or they can't let go of. So another aspect of you is that you're always leaning forward in time because you always want to escape. There might be some headaches there as well, or pressure. It's like, I got to get out of this place. I feel, so physically what you'll feel, and again, I go to the core level and then I'll give you, say, symptoms of what you might experience, okay? Because sometimes I tell you the core level and you go, well, doesn't make sense. So I'll give you what you will experience. You always feel like you feel trapped in your relationships, for example, Michael. Over time, it's like, shit, I got to get away. I got to get something. You can, like, sit still, or you can sit still for a little bit, but then, it's like, gosh, I just got to move forward. So what you do is, time is always a constant, okay? Michael, time is always a constant, and you should be on that train of time to be consistent or in the present moment. But when you're constant in time and you're in the present moment, it's a magnifier. And then you get uncomfortable. And then a lot of that, say, the childhood memories, or trying to escape as a child, or trying to hide as a child, comes about. So when you come into the moment where there's moments of brilliance for you, and this is where it confuses you, right? There's moments of brilliance for you and all that. It's like, shit, I know all that, but then why do I feel like this? Because what happens is that, again, whatever happened in the past for you, just because of time, won't get into it. But it almost seems like when you were younger, it's always like you were escaping, you're hiding, you're escaping from time and space, or whatever was going to happen to you in your environment. So now what you do is, like, when you're in time, when you get into brilliance, when you get moments of clarity and so on like that, you can't stay in there for so long, although it is brilliant, because again, it's like, shit, I have to get out of here. So you move yourself forward in time. Right. And then you're always ahead of time. And this is where you might get, say, more insights on, say, what's going to happen and so on. But if you're moving forward in time, this is where anxiety starts to come in. This is where you don't feel proper. This is where you can't connect to individuals. This is where it's like, shit, I got to get going. This is where your heart rate might actually be faster than what it should be, and so on like that, because you're ahead of time. Say, imagine there's a train of time. You just jumped in front of that train. So you would have to physically run ahead of that train, right? And then the calmness that you're seeking, right? Just being in the moment, because you've had bits and pieces of that. But the reason why you can't stay consistent with it, again, because of it's a time function, not a psychological function. So take a deep breath in. Just let's lock you into present moment time. And it's not just Michael, it's other individuals as well, who always say run ahead of time, like type A behaviors. Those individuals who are great achievers, but they can never sit still. They aren't ever proud of their, say, accomplishments and so on like that, because again, they created it not in present moment time. They created it ahead of time. So whatever they achieved, for example, this is an extreme version of you, Michael. Whatever they achieve, no matter how good it is, it never will become good enough, right? Michael Jordan is like that. He's always ahead of time, by the way. He'll never be good enough. And it pushes him to be the best, but then again, it destroys him, right? So again, take a breath in and let's lock you back into present moment time. And this is where XI teaches you to expand into yourself, which is a book I'm writing, your inner expansion. You get into present moment time, and then you expand into, say, those possibilities that include the future for you, and then you bring them into the present moment, and this is where you can heal. Okay. So again, Michael, comment in on if that was helpful for you. This one, Tammy Tammy. BRIED, would love a scan. Again, what you do is you feel like you're never good enough, or you feel like you're always comparing yourself to, say, masculine individuals. Does that make sense? Or what you do, if that's not the case, there's a masculinity around you where you feel insecure, say being a woman. So basically you would take on, oh, that's what it is. So basically your mom, say, wasn't the most confident person. Okay. So what would happen is like, shit, I don't want to be a female like that. So you copied a masculine identity. So you you're a female on the inside, but then you have a masculine wrapping around you. And this is where, your relationships get messed up. This is where in your relationships, you turn into a masculine aspect of yourself. And then if you're dating a male, okay, if you're dating a male, you would be more masculine than the male, which is actually a turnoff for you because you want somebody to bring out the feminine quality in you. Okay. Now, if you're gay or lesbian or anything like that, again, you'd still want somebody to bring in the feminine quality in you. So either way, but you again run that masculine pattern, and that's what messes you up. Other aspects of you is that you always have to prove yourself. You're always on guard. You always are, say, pushy, because if you're not the one being pushy, you'll be pushed. So again, you always try to create, say, drama, so to speak. Okay, so you can stop all that. Again, just take a breath in. Yeah. So in your programming, your equation basically is being feminine or being a woman is insecure, and I'm going to be taken advantage of. Again, and that's not your pattern. That's basically your mom's pattern. You're running away. So you might not agree with me, Tammy, but what you would do is like you would do extreme things to prove to yourself, look, I did this. That means that I am a confident woman. Look, I did this. And that means I'm a confident woman. But deep inside, you always have to keep proving to yourself that, again, that, look, I did this, I did this, I did this. From the outside, you might look like that persona that you want, but from the inside, again, the two identities don't match just because of what I said. Right? And again, comment in. So this one is it Shia? Shia, yeah, Shia Michael. Hi, Masa, welcome you to scan me. Thank you. Yeah. So with you, there's 1, 2, 3. I see 3 individuals with you. 3 individuals that you might be worried about, or 3 individuals that you run your life. So basically what you do is, again, for some reason or another, and again, just because of time, we won't get into all the details, but for some reason or another, you've always stepped back of yourself. And then you're always worried about, or you're always propagating, say, somebody else's life, not your own. So over time, what happens is like your life gets like left alone. It's like, shit, I feel empty on the inside. What the hell happened to my life? What's going on? Again, because your self-worth is based on people that you love, right? Or people that have issues. I have to solve their issues first before I solve mine. But when you get to when you're running that pattern, I'm not saying you shouldn't help people, but when you're running that pattern, the problem with that is that you'll never get to the point, right? You're going to get into your 80s and 90s and go, shit, I didn't live my life. What the fuck happened? So this is where, again, you can still help those individuals and help yourself. Okay. So what I was helping you with, is it Shia, is like, well, you might push those people away. By the way you're helping those individuals by supporting them, you're just making yourself get drained, and you're making them weaker because you're not showing them, you're not you're not showing them how to handle their own situations. Okay. So again, so what you want to do again is after this mini session, you'll probably push people away. You'll probably not like people, the 3 or 4 people that hang out with you or that you're responsible for, and you might go, well, and if say they're kids, it's like, well, of course I'm responsible for my kids. You'd have to be, because that's what a parent does. No, not really. A parent isn't responsible for their kids. They're responsible for raising strong, proper kids. They're not responsible for taking all their bullshit. They're not responsible for taking all their, you basically are a crutch if you have kids, for those kids. So again, you're not teaching them how to walk. You're creating a crutch for them. Okay. And again, it messes them up. It messes you up. Okay. So, this is Zainab. Hi, Mouse, a long time no see. Can you scan me, please? Yeah, sure. Again, a lot of changes have happened for you from what I'm seeing. Sometimes people, walk away from XI because that's the journey. That's really fantastic, because it's like, look, Jesus walked away, Buddha walked away. Again, Tesla tells you to be alone. Again, you step away, or in tribes, what they do is they push, the young individuals out into the world to prove to themselves that, hey, they're strong and confident. So again, that's where you've been. You've kind of gone away, you've come back. It's like, gosh, okay, this stuff really works. So now it's like, this is where it's like, how can I expand? How can I expand into myself? How can I be more of myself? How can I become the highest version of myself? So that's where you are. And you're starting to release, or you're starting to see, say, family patterns that aren't the best for you. You're starting to realize that, and you're starting to, say, honorably transition away into a higher version of, say, your culture or your religion and so on. You start to see, again, a higher version of what your religion was or what the culture was about. Okay, so it's really nice. So nice job. Oops. This one, Tammy, that I read. Thanks, Moss. I don't have a confident mother, and I married someone that was not as masculine as I would have liked. That was spot on. Would you be able to delete that pattern for me? Absolutely. That's what it was. And again, it's not the person. It's not about removing or divorcing, or if it is what it is. But that's my point. You didn't have that confident mother. It's like, fuck. I'm a woman, she's a woman. I want to be confident, right? So it's like, I'll adopt a masculine identity. A lot of women do that. And unfortunately, the Me Too movement, women empowerment movement, all those movements that are out there, just empower you to become more masculine. They don't empower you to become, say, that strong female. You can protect yourself, you can be confident, you can be secure, you can be safe with a feminine frequency around you that, say, protects you. But most of those groups out there don't do it properly. They show you how to become a masculine identity. You've seen some of those groups, right? Again, raise your hand, or again, comment in on those who've been in those groups and just trash men. That's not a way to be confident, by the way. So again, as you remove, and I can help you remove, and I started to help you remove, Tammy, those patterns for you. So you'll start to say, gravitate to what a strong XI female or feminine is. Right? This one, CP123, Moss ready to release. What's next? Please scan. So you're really ready. You really are ready to transform. What you've done is like, you've prepared yourself. It's like go time for you. It's like at this moment, I don't know if there's a birthday coming up or some sort of time significance, birthday, end of the year, whatever it might be, but it's not the end of the year, it's before that. Something time significant happens. Is like, by this date, and you've set it at at a very high level. By this date, things need to change so I can start, right? So it's like, by this date, I'm starting a new life. So you've gotten everything ready. So take a breath in. You've removed things. You've like cleaned out the trash, so to speak. You've cleaned out your house, so to speak. And it's like you've taken out the trash. So let's help you take out the trash, where you're just packing things for your new journey on your life. So congratulations, that you need to take along, nothing more. So nice job. So again, notice your neck. This one, Mandana. Can you help Iranian prisoners today? The prison went on fire. Yeah, it's really sad what's happening there. Again, it's a deeper reason that I don't want to discuss. Just I discuss a lot of that stuff on private chats and so on like that, and why shit like that happens in the world. That's what I'm talking about. Guys, those things don't need to happen. Not in this day and age, not in this technology, not at the elevation or consciousness that we're awakened. Again, you don't have to destroy others to create freedom for yourself. Countries who think that way, whether you're the US or whether you're Russia or China and so on like that, it doesn't have to happen. Again, you destroy other people's country to create freedom for yourself. What is that? How does that work? You kill other people's young men and women to create freedom for your own country. Does that work out? You kill your own young individuals to create freedom for your country. That's a heavy burden, guys. That's a heavy toll. And it's not just about war. It's about that consciousness, and all those individuals die for the wrong purpose, for the wrong reason. That's a layer, that's a darkness, that's a blanket that everybody will experience, because there's been enough wars, there's been enough torment upon the world. It's a heavy blanket, and that heavy blanket gets heavier and heavier as the consciousness arises, whether you're ready for it or not. Okay, it's not up to those individuals that think they control the world, like what World Economic Forum or whoever the hell they are. It's not about that. It's about the consciousness. It's about the frequencies. It's about who designed you. Okay, that's the game plan, not some peon that's their world leaders and something like that. So that's happened. Again, all the distortions that have happened because of war, because of abuse, because of all those things, you will all experience. We will all experience. You want to be on the right side. You want to understand that, hey, yeah, that was part of me. That was part of my human genetics. It's not my human genetics anymore. That's what really XI is about. I don't want to be part of that space anymore. Okay. People who hold on to that old paradigm, this is the split. And again, I predicted this a long time ago, and now it's coming through. I predicted this 3-4 years ago, and this is another prediction for you all. People who again, the big factor was your color, your culture, your sex, and all that. Now it's like, hey, are you on the right side of consciousness, or are you on the left side of consciousness? If you're on the old paradigm, guys, you're going to just sink and crash. You're going to crash and burn and disappear. So you want to be awakened. Your wealth, who whoever you think you are, it's not about that. It's about your frequencies. What frequencies or what dimension of time and space are you creating yourself in? Because if you're not creating in that moment of time and space, again, the new version of what humanity should be, the better version, the other version, no matter who you are, again, whatever you have, whatever pull you have in this reality, doesn't fucking matter. You're out. Okay? And this is where, again, the meek shall inherit the earth. Okay, your own frequencies, the dominance of who you are will come forth. Okay, fortunately, stuff like that will happen. But it won't say take hold. Okay, we'll take one more. This one is Edward. How many years? Well, you're starting to see the breakdown. 2021, 2020 was a breakdown. It creates momentum. And again, it's not the end of time. Like there's so many people who predict stuff. It's going to be the end of time and it's going to be devastation and so on like that. You'll see as a new consciousness, because again, you can't fight or you can't transform into, say, a new version of society or consciousness by using the old patterns. Okay. So in this scenario, it is the end of the world. It is the end of time, how we see it. But then when the new time frame comes in, it snaps in. Again, it's a new format of time and space. It's not a new format of new bills and new laws and new governments and all that bullshit. That's out. That's old. It's a new time at formats of time and space. As this new format comes in, everything changes. You see, it's not just us. It's not just humans. You see the planetary mechanisms change. You'll see things. Saturn is changing. Uranus is changing. All those things are changing because, again, consciousness is coming into a new version. Time and space is becoming more efficient. Humans have to become more efficient, or again, the ones that aren't, say, disappear. There's a lot of people that'll disappear. So in that scenario, it's the end of time. But it's not a devastating quality. You'll see that, again, it'll come forward into new opportunities, new technologies that don't destroy, new opportunities of finances, again, that only a certain group control the world. It's going to be none of that. It's going to be, again, more free-flowing, so you can be free, not again, oppressed, so you can be free to become who you really are, not the bullshit that you are, but the real version of who you are. Okay, it's not the love fest of the 60s or anything like that, because that was all bullshit as well. People were fucked up, right? Both sides were fucked up. This is about, again, you becoming the best version of what you were genetically, say, designed for. Okay, so that's what we're getting into. So, and again, if you're on the right side, you'll be taken care of. Let's see. A lot of people saying like, please share and please like. Thank you so much, guys. This one, Sri SRIKNTH. Please scan me. So for you, yeah, take a breath in. You might have neck issues, neck problems, or you're always getting pushed and directed. Say that your life is not your own, basically. You're always like, say somebody is just holding you by the neck and basically telling you, go this way, go that way. Again, you can't do what you want to do. If you even get close, you've gotten close to going, oh, if I go through this, if I go on this journey or in this path, if I go in this direction, then I'll really find myself. And you go towards that direction and you get close to it, but then all of a sudden something just literally pulls you literally by the neck and it goes, you can't go there. You can't go there. You're not allowed. You're not qualified, but you're not deserving to go in that direction, to be your complete self. So again, they just pull you back and then put you back on track. This has happened to you 1, 2, 3, 4 times, where you've had opportunities again to create freedom. So you feel like a prisoner within your own skin and within your own life. You can free yourself. That's a cultural pattern, or that's a familial pattern, whichever way. Okay. Whichever way you think of it. Or it could have been, say, if you believe in previous lifetimes, it could have been that as well. Either way, it doesn't matter. However you slice it, the end result is the same, or however you label it, the end result is the same. So when, again, this is about your freedom, and I can help you disconnect that. Again, not all at once, but some of you, or a lot of you, take a breath in. Even if I didn't work on you, you'll go, shit, something changed. Whatever that guy did changed my life. I get a lot of that. So thank you for that. So take a breath in. Let's free you. And then if nobody is controlling you or imprisoning you, you imprison yourself. because that's the pattern that you run. You feel like you're, again, imprisoned or chained to go into a different direction. You have a lot of self-worth in yourself, but then you also cut yourself down. Because what happens is that, say you're in prison, right? You can't escape, but you have a lot of self-worth. If you escaped, you'd have a lot of self-worth and a lot of opportunities. But since you can't escape, what you do is that self-worth destroys you. It's like, well, shit, if I can't use it, I'll destroy myself with it. Does that make sense to you? So those types of patterns, and again, it really fucks up your psychology. So I would suggest doing the 18 days, or at least the elevation. If you're new to me, do the elevation to get you really into understanding, and then you'll break out of your jail cell that you've created for yourself. You didn't create it. Again, it's just genetics that have come through. And then in relationships, again, just to put it down home for you, in relationships, you feel like you're imprisoned. You can't be or you can't do who you are. You walk on eggshells, right? Because you can't explore, or you can't, be the person that you want to be, and, all that stuff. And if you do become successful, the success will imprison you. Okay. So this pattern at an extreme level is when there are individuals who become super successful and then they commit, say, suicide, because again, their success will imprison them even more. So again, you can remove all that. It's easy. You're such a bright light. You're a brilliant space, but nobody gave you the key to unlock you. So what I was doing for you is not just giving you the key, but just unlocking your imprisoned your cell, so you can just like walk out. So when you walk out, you'll feel very awkward. You will feel awkward even by tomorrow. Okay. So right into customers, if you will, you'll feel awkward. It's like, shit, nobody's controlling me. I'm not even controlling myself. And this is where your freedom comes in. Sometimes when people become free, they want to commit crime. Right? This has happened, right? Where, somebody's been in prison for 20, 30 years. They can't understand life. It's changed so much. So they commit another crime so they can go back in jail because they're more comfortable. So again, I urge you, when you become free like that, don't do that. Don't go back to your old habits. Start fresh, right? And just don't look back and just go forward. All right. And again, I can guarantee that you'll change. So again, thanks for everything. Again, guys, share, like, please, and share this with other individuals as well. Thanks. Take care. Peace. Bye-bye.